They're kind of the sole sponsor that we have on this part of the state, but they're bringing us down here to talk to some of the area coaches. But we thought we'd talk to one of the shining lights in this streaming business, and that's Dog Pound Radio. And we're talking to Chuck Banks. Chuck, welcome to the program.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. It's kind of my first time as a broadcaster, whereas in the past, I'd been in that coaching gig. But hey, man, excited to support you guys at any point. Yeah.
Well, Dog Pound Radio has become a huge thing, and you've expanded way beyond Fort Madison. Talk a little bit about the growth. We were talking about this before we get on camera, but you've had tremendous growth. You're doing this Dog Pound tour. How did this all come together, and what's the secret to your success?
Hard work, but no. Anyway, kind of looking at it shortly after. Well, it wasn't shortly. It's about 6 months after my third stroke. I decided that I was going to medically retire myself and get right physically. So I took a few months off after that. I did broadcast for the Fort Madison Community School District, the wrestling season and that sort of stuff. And then, and lo and behold, we got into the latter part of the summer, and I had this itch. To expand Dog Pound. And, I basically sent a couple of emails out to some coaching buddies that I knew, and they were excited for the coverage. And then that would grow almost overnight, because a lot of coaches started. We have a lot of coaches that watch us through the Coach Show. If you watch us in the winter, Coach Derek Doherty, myself, Coach Ben Fry, he's the HTC AD, and he's a football coach here. We've had a lot of traction when it comes to the Coach Show and that sort of stuff, and the camaraderie, not only with the Coach Show, but also in my over 25 years experience coaching football and doing that. There was a lot of interest in me, and I don't understand it, man. I have a great face for radio. I'll just throw that out there right away. But so I started out with the Doghouse Tour. We started with 6 teams. There were some local teams that didn't want me, which was fine. They're thinking I'm going to steal all their secrets, which, that's neither here nor there. But we eventually got to 8. I visited 8 camps before basically official practice started, including 3 Illinois squads. And, so we've been branching out. Brown County, an Illinois perennial football powerhouse that has their own media, was excited about seeing some of my TikToks. So, their old O-line coach got a hold of me, and we got to go down there. So Brown County, and Macomb, I actually broadcast, my first live football game broadcast was in Macomb last week, with Coach Tanner Horrell and gang. And, it's super exciting for that. But, within a month, I would say, let's push this, that kind of the July 15th to August 15th. We've tripled followers on Facebook, tripled on YouTube, tripled on TikTok, tripled on, basically all these multi-facets that we stream. And, I'm here for these kids that may not get recognized. And, it was fun that we went to a little school, but as a perennial powerhouse, West Hancock, used to be, can't even think of the name right now, so I apologize, guys, for that. But they used to be kind of a perennial powerhouse down there in West Central Illinois, and they weren't getting a lot of media. Got some kids some looks. A lot of college coaches watch our stuff, and they're continuing to watch our stuff. And I know Kurt Ritchie, coaching up there in I think Cedar Rapids, is doing a great job now coaching at the collegiate level. But they're reaching out, and it's almost like I'm a scout and a personality, which is kind of exciting.
Well, you have the right background. You're a football coach, and you've been all over. You kind of had a career that's taken you from this town to that town, and you've been involved in this, and you've been a little bit involved in that. So you got a network of coaches and everything. So the Dog Pound has been growing. Let's switch it over here to Fort Madison. Coach Doherty said you'd have some involvement in broadcasting. I think you're doing it through Huddle.
Yep.
But tell our listeners how they can follow the Fort Madison Bloodhounds.
Okay,
Right here on
sorry.
right through the Huddle and what your participation in that.
If they follow me on Dog Pound Radio, I will be posting those links to join. And basically, here in Fort Madison, they wanted to make it easier for the grandparents, easier for the
And
community
those people
members.
that's what I hear from is them people that live
Yeah.
out of state, you know, their grandma and grandpa, and they're like, they turn on their YouTube and they can't believe that's their grandson right there, and they're getting a chance to see and hear some positive things about them.
And you know, with Huddle, I know activities director Jeff Lamb is working hard to make sure it's a one-stop shop where, you know, folks can get in there and it's only one leak instead of, you know, like my 9. but you know, it's going to be exciting. I'm going to call the home games on the road. We're going to reach out to some of these schools. I know
Some of them have coverage and some of them don't, and some of them are wonderful and accommodating, and some of them would just as soon hit you in the face with a cactus. To be honest with you, that's how experience I've had with different places.
And you know, with the Doghouse Tour, you know, I've been able to get into the camp. We're having weekly shows, you know, where the coaches are coming on. I'm guessing that at the very least I can go in and and run this, you know, kind of on a radio format. Basically, it'll be on the stream, but they won't see the live video, but they can still hear my beautiful voice.
Yeah, your voice is the area where you're beautiful.
I appreciate that.
And I think I'm even a little less beautiful, even with my voice there. But you're handsoming up a little bit. I'm a little jealous, actually. You and Coach Doherty, you have the beards that are so distinguished, and I'm sitting here looking a little naked on the face.
Yeah, you're gonna have to grow
I have to
some
step it up a
facial hair
little
if you come
bit. But
south.
my beard, it just looks so, I don't know, it's so scratchy for me. It only take me about 2 hours, and I'd have one, but the way my beard grows. Anyway, that's a little off topic. So let's talk about some of, you know, I'm here, there's a lot of schools, the West Burlingtons and the Notre Dames and the Burlingtons is going to be here, and the Keokuks and the Mount Pleasants. Is there any school around here that you think might be a team to keep an eye on this year?
Well, you know, I'm looking in kind of our district, which is absolutely loaded. You know, where the Fort Madison, you know, is, and I look at the Bloodhounds, they've improved tremendously, you know, over the last 12 months. They bought into Coach Derek Doherty culture. And then you look at our district, you know, Solon I have picked winning the Class 3A state title, but also I have Mount Pleasant ranked 4th. And I know that Fairfield's getting some love, you know, at Iowa. Yeah, I think it's Iowa football, right?
Iowa sports, I think, had them in there. Yeah, they have some talent. They got the Bisgard kid, and they got the Voss Richardson and a 3-year quarterback returning. We're going to see if they can stop the other team from scoring. If they can do that, they should put some wins on the board. I'm thinking, because their offense is probably going to be elite.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, also on some of the other Doghouse looks, you know, I had a chance to watch West Burlington scrimmage with Burlington, and, you know, watching that Jaden Nanthan, that he's just an absolute freaking beast up there at West Burlington. And he's so big, and I call him kind of the Jerome Bettis bus type. You know, I think West Burlington has a legit shot at, you know, maybe taking West Liberty down a notch. And then at that point, you know, I'm excited to watch those guys compete against, you know, Mid Prairie and Minneapolis. That I think
that's a conference that if you can come out on top of that, you did something, and you should be ready for the playoffs.
Yeah,
because they're good. You know, the Minneapolis, you got Wilton, you got North Liberty, you got Central Lee, and Burlington, West Burlington, Notre Dame. So there's some definitely no cakewalks in any of those games there at all.
Well, I don't think that any of our teams in Southeast Iowa get kind of, you know, they're all in a very extremely competitive, tough district, you know.
All right. Well, I'm gonna throw you a little curveball here. We lost Dolly Parton. I was thinking about it, and can you tell me a song or a memory, something that stands out to you about Dolly Parton?
Islands in the Stream, man.
Islands in the Stream, and for me, it's Here You Come Again. That was the one I thought was her very best. You know, she kind of
sorry.
person that everybody would aspire to be, the kind of person that was helpful and did a lot with their life. What do you think? There's any messages for the football players that they could get out of Dolly Parton?
Yeah, being able to stay the course, to always put God first.
She definitely did that.
Yeah, and see, this is going to date me a little bit. I know her and Porter Wagner were married at one point.
Okay. Well, I guess according to the amount of power that I have left on this here battery, I'm going to have to wrap this up. Was there anything we didn't get a chance to talk about that you wanted to talk about?
No, man. I really appreciate you guys, and I appreciate the publicity that you guys send my way as well.
Well, I got a notification. Uh, I'm one of them top fans over on the dog pound.
Oh, yeah.
I got the information that I need.
Yeah.
You know, and hopefully you can help me with some scores this year because we want to get all the scores in
100%.
for everybody. Thanks for being with us. We appreciate everybody out there watching, and hope we got our money's worth out of these interviews today.